All right. So I'm going to give a minute here for those of you who are coming to join me this evening to get online. Looking forward to having some fun tonight, passing on some messages, being of service. So excited. All right, I see a few people popping on. Give me a second here. Hello, Shay and Michelle. Nice to see you guys. Hello, Amy. Excited to have some people come and join me. Can you guys hear me okay? Let me know. Thumbs up, some love, whatever you want to do. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me appropriately. Hello, hello, hello. Don't mind me. I'm just making some notes, talking to some people until we get some more people online. Always, as always, happy to be here. Always so much fun. I love what I do. Perfect. I wanted to make sure the guys could hear me okay. Kind of get my mic sitting here, and hopefully it's okay. I didn't want to block off my little Merry Christmas back here, so just wanted to make sure. So how are all of you doing this evening? Hopefully doing well. And I know sometimes there's a little bit of a lag or delay between the messages that come forward as they pull in from places. So bear with me if I seem like I'm running a little bit behind. Sometimes I do my best not to. But yeah, sometimes that plays a part in it as well. Hello, hello, hello. And I'm just talking to you guys. I'm making some notes. Do I have any new ones, new people in the house? Hey, Steph, how are you doing, sweetheart? It's been a while. Let's see. Yeah. So let me know if it's your first time here. Jessica, thank you. You know what? I figured we're pretty close to Christmas, and this is going to be my last one of this year. So you know what? Got to get in that Christmas spirit. I actually just put up my Christmas tree today too. So maybe a little bit behind, but trying to get in that Christmas spirit. So let's see. Hello, Alicia. Thank you about the Santa hat. So those of you that have not been on my lives before, and maybe those that have been on my lives as well, just so that you know how I work. Prior to coming in, I talk to my guides, I ground, I prepare, I get in the zone that I need to be in, but I also set the intention that those people that need the messages this evening, as I see the names come up in my stream, right, as you comment, right, then they direct me to certain names. So I have a little pen and paper here, I make note of it, and then I kind of get through as many as I can get through for you guys to pass on those messages, right? So just to let you know, like I try and refrain from like posting a whole bunch of, you know, hey, I want to connect with this person or that person in the comments, because 9 times out of 10, I will right past it. But if I see like a hi or just like a little heart or something, so I know you're here, right? That's the main thing for me. As I said, the guides run the show, right? And actually wasn't sure if I'd be able to, I've got my normal glasses on instead of my reading glasses today. I thought, I wonder if I can actually see my comments. So yeah, welcome to those that are new. And I just want to start with just a really quick message too, is when I was grounding, my guides were just wanting me to bring forward a message for all of them, for those that are here tonight, with reminders that no matter where we are, no matter what is going on in our lives, that we are never alone. Whether that is representation of our spirit loved ones on the other side, or what I refer to higher beings, higher guides, angels, God, whatever term suits you, we are always surrounded with love. We always have that support system on the other side, whether we can actually perceive it or not. It doesn't mean it isn't there. Okay, because I said we are very much in a time, and we have been a time where there's a lot of emotions for people. And it's almost like, I call it Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, we're in fear and we're in love, we're in hate, we're in anger. Like there's so many emotions that are rising to the surface. And the guides are saying, remember where you put your energy. And it's so important where, if we get stuck in that, if we recognize we're in that negative or we're in that fear, that we stop and pull ourselves back. This is some of the most important work that you can do, is to help yourself to stay balanced and not to feed the bullshit of what's going on externally around us, because they are illusions at the end of the day. And it is sometimes about control. And, we're easier to manipulate when we're in fear. So it's so much better if we can have those things that you can do to help yourself stay and be in balance. Okay. Loving all the hearts and all the emojis coming up. Beautiful, guys. Nice to see everyone. Hello, Indri. I'm just making my way down to the bottom of the list. Heidi Christine, you were one of the first ones in the room. Let me know if you are here, because you were one of the first names that my guides directed me to. And for some reason, it makes me feel like there's a female connection on the other side. So again, for those of you that are new, the way that I operate, I'm a channel. I use the term psychic medium, but I'm a channel at the end of the day. And if there's somebody you want to connect with, let me know who that is. Okay, so I want to talk to my grandmother, I want to talk to my mom, whatever that is, instead of going, well, whoever's there. And the reason why I say this, not that I can't get it, but it gives me opportunities to make more connections, because I can get in, I can get the information, and I can move on. Okay, when I have someone one-on-one, when I'm doing those sessions, because again, this is what I do. This is my business. I've been doing this for 10 years between when I had the store and serving clients. When I have someone in front of me, that's no holds barred, and it's totally different. But when I do this, I want to try and kind of make as many connections as I can. Okay. So I'm making my way down the list. And Heidi, I see your comment about so much emotion this time of year. Yeah, and a lot of emotion this time of year too. There's so many souls that have been departing over the past couple of years. And the departures have not been, here gradual. There's been a lot of abrupt leaving, and that's part of the soul's going, nope, change my mind, I want to be here, right? The soul makes a choice when it's going to go, whether we want them to or not, right? So I'm working my way down. Heidi, so yes, I see you saying, I am here. So let me know, Heidi, who it is you would like to connect with. And although I do mediumship, I can also answer any type of question that you have. So what I call your normal psychic stuff, kids, career, relationship, that stuff as well. And again, if I'm talking to you, just to let you know too, I'm going to make one connection or one question. Okay. It's not meant to be a private reading or, a reading for one person for 10, 15 minutes, right? Again, because it gives me opportunities to connect with as many people as I can. Okay. So give me a second. I'm still working my way to the bottom. I see Heidi's question here. So wanting to connect with her sister-in-law, Nancy. And if any time I give you something that you don't understand, please let me know, okay? When I connect with her, she feels like she'd be a lot of fun, a really fun-loving soul, because as soon as I kind of keyed into the energy, I got someone who was almost like jumping up and down, excited. So I think she could be very animated. But I think she didn't have a problem speaking her mind or speaking her truth, saying what she needed to say. She seems really excited that what I hear is, she picked me, right? So she seems pretty excited about that. I feel like she was sick for a time before she passed, because I also get a ramp going downwards, and a ramp always represents illness for me, from my guides, okay? So I'm just going to work my way down, because I have a lot of comments coming up here. And I'm just wanting to find what Heidi's saying. Give me a second here. Happy holidays to you too, Crystal. Slowly working my way down. And again, I know you guys are posting like, I want to connect with this person or that, and I won't answer them when they come up in the comments, okay? If I see your name, the guides direct me, and then I will call on you and give you the opportunity, okay? And I get this sense, Chris or Heidi, you're saying yes, miss her. Very fun-loving. So again, with the disease or the illness, I mean, I get a sense where she accepted it. So not that she gave in, because they still show me the sense of fighter. So I don't know if there's a cancer connection with her or not. But I get this sense of going, you know what? I fought it all the way. I left on my terms. And I wouldn't be surprised if she kind of left when there wasn't so many people around or so many people in the room as well, because I get that sense of privacy. All right, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so she was sick and passed a year ago. Bear with me. So I see, bear with me. Yep. And I see your comment about cancer. Yeah, I felt a cancer connection with her for sure. Was there something specific you wanted to know from her? She's just so very sweet, and it makes me feel like family ties was very, very important for her as well. Did she used to do this a lot then? Because all of a sudden she's showing me like this, and it's like, I mean, it can be representation of sending love through the lines as well, but it also makes me feel like it might have been something she used to do. So just let me know about that, Heidi. Just to confirm that. Okay, so you want to know if there's a message for her daughter. And I did feel like there was kids being there. When I key in as far as messages for her daughter, I mean, the first thing that I get, if you will, is just such a sense of pride. So she's saying, like, she's so proud of, and what I hear, the woman she's becoming. So I'm not quite sure how old she is. It makes me feel more still like, early teens. Like, I don't get her being old, right? old. I'm old. Anyway, I still get her being fairly young, but the sense of pride, and it's almost like even with the loss of her mom and everything going on, like she's really been working through her healing, and she's finding herself, and that seems to be really, really important for her. Right? Is that making a little bit of sense for you? Bear with me, guys. I'm making my way down to the bottom of the list. Yeah. So hopefully this is making some sense for you. She's just so happy, and I hoping that the yes is about the heart, but yeah, she's okay. She says it was one of the hardest experiences she had to go through, and it wasn't about the fact of death, because the guides always refer to death as returning home, but it's more from the perspective of having to leave her loved ones behind. And that's what she's talking about, the hardest thing to do. And the guides show me, the guides do show me breathing, stop, which represents a gentle transition. I get a female connection with her on the other side. So it makes me feel it's probably a grandmother connection that would have been almost like a mother for her. So she would have been one of the first ones there to what I call greet her and help to escort her on the other side. So she was very well met on the other side as well. Okay. And Heidi, you are very, very, very welcome. Right? Again, the guides know who needs that little message, and they're the ones that direct everything for me. But again, I try and get to as many people as I can. But you know what? Like I said, this is what I do full time. And you know what? Christmas is coming. I do gift certificates. It's one of the best gifts you can get for somebody who's really missing someone on the other side, is a session to have a connection with them and to know that they're okay. Right? So along the top, you can always check out my website, paulahunter.ca. Nice, easy one to remember. And you can find more information out there. Okay. So awesome. I hope that helped for you, Heidi. Shay Hansen. Miss Shay, I presume Miss, could be Mrs. Shay Hansen, are you still around? Let me know if you are here. Let me know what your question is or who you would like to connect with, okay? Heidi, you are very, very, very welcome. Okay. Your sister-in-law, she's like blowing kisses. Okay. So she's sending that through the lines too. Hello, Shay. I see you there. Shay, who would you like to connect with? Or as I said, if you have a question about something else going on in your life, you're more than welcome to ask that. Oh, Heidi. Hopefully we still miss someone, but also just, always remember, like what the guides wanted me to start with is, our loved ones, our guides, these beautiful beings are always, always with us. Excuse me a second, I'm going to cough. I'm still on the tail end of this thing, but at least I'm doing a little better. Much love to you, Heidi. And as I said, she's sending love through the lines and sending kisses, okay? So Shay Hansen. So I'd like to connect with my dad. Give me just 1 second here. And again, welcome to anyone that I may not have said hello to. This definitely would not have been Dad's cup of tea. It was not. It would have been something that he probably didn't necessarily believe in from that perspective. When I came to Dad, I get a real heaviness in the chest and also in the throat and the chest area. So it could have been him actually trying to step forward too. So did he have issues with heart or lungs as well? Because I get breathing, difficulties breathing. Is that making some sense a little bit, Shay? Bessie, nice comment. Sending love to all tonight. Get the messages that they need. Yeah, I always love doing this. And I believe it's Piriat. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it properly or not. And if not, my apologies. But actually, they directed excuse me, mouth guys. They directed me to you already. So your name's on my list. You just need to kind of give it some time here, okay? Okay. So I see you comment about an overdosing. Yeah, because it's just like it's hard to breathe. It's like a tightening of the throat. Okay. When we talk about an overdose too, this wasn't something new. Because when I saw your post about he overdosed, so yes, what I heard was chronic. So it makes me feel like that was probably something he struggled with a lot of his life, right? Again, I really get family is being important, but what he's showing me is he couldn't always be there for family in a way that he would have loved to or wished that he could have. He keeps telling me that I didn't know how. So I think at times he may not have always been the best dad. I think he kind of tried to do as you know, as good as he could with it. Okay. Tracy Atkins, I hear you about the 5 weeks. I'm pretty much at that now too, and still trying to get rid of the cough. Yeah, you're so right. He wants to apologize for that, you know, because he shows me that it's like being there, running away. So, you know, he didn't have a lot of staying power. You know, when things kind of got tough or rough, he shows me he would kind of like back off, right? And he just really wishes that he had the capacity to be the father that his family needed, right? Partner, father, however you want to look at it. So he's asking for forgiveness. And the forgiveness, I'm not saying that you don't forgive him or other family members, but I get it more from the perspective of he needs to be able to say that, because I don't feel he was very good at saying that when he was here. He was not good at, you know, telling someone he loved them, right? He struggled with that. And it looks like I have some what I lovingly call trolls, as usual on my lives. Again, as I say, I think that's always, I find it very disrespectful, to be honest with you. But I'm going to see if I can delete them out right now. There we go. Lock user. Block. Bye-bye. I keep my phone here just in case because, like I said, I lovingly call them trolls, but they drive me insane. Okay. So is that helping a little bit, Shay? I see that. Yeah, you're so right. It's important. He just keeps sending love through the lines to you too, right? So know that he's doing some healing. On the other side, he is working on taking responsibility for himself, because again, I don't get that he was very good at doing that here. And typically that represents, you know, we make excuses for things going on. I can't because, right? Or it's not my fault, it's someone else's fault, or it's the world's fault, or it's something else. And he's showing me that those are the things that he struggled with. I think he had a hard growing up. I get trauma, and I would be surprised if there was some abuse sitting there in his childhood. Not that that's an excuse for anyone acting the way that we do act, because at the end of the day, you know, we are responsible for ourselves, and we can continue to play out cycles or trauma, or we can make a choice going, you know what, I want to heal that so that I don't continue to carry that forward, you know, into my family and my children and through the generations, right? Because we can carry that stuff, right? So I hope that's helped a little bit, Shay. And he keeps saying, I love you, because he says, like, he never really said it, right? I think he did it kind of off to the side, hint at it, but he was never very, very direct. Okay. So hopefully that's helped a little bit. And Heidi, I know you had other questions there, doll, but I moved on. Remember, I said at the beginning, I try and make the one connection or question to stay with it. You know what? But as I said, this is what I do, right? This is my joy. This is my passion, is assisting other people at making connections. Okay. So, I mean, if you're looking for something else, you can always drop me a line. Be more than happy to set you up with a private session too. Okay. Or her family, whatever works. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and I really get that, Shay. I think he tried. He tried to the best of his ability, the best of his capacity. So he's just doing some healing on the other side. But for him to, continue with the healing he needs to do is something that he needs to be able to say. Okay. So I hope that's helped a little bit. A little bit of a connection. And you know what, darling, you are so very, very, very welcome. Working my way down to the bottom of the list. For those that are popping on, again, as I see names, I'm making notes of them. And, as I said, my guides are the ones that actually direct the show, right? They're the ones that direct me to individuals, okay? So I apologize if I cough a little bit, right? So let me see. Amy Richard. Amy, are you still around? Amy Richard. Let me know if you are still here. Very, very, very welcome. Let's see. Shay, I begged him to come through tonight. You know what? And you know what, Shay, it makes a good point, what you said there and what I started with. Always remember that we are surrounded by our loved ones. We're surrounded by our guides. And so when we, made the comment begging him to come, that's communication. Thoughts and words are energy. And whether it is, please come through someone else so I can, talk to you tonight, recognize that when you're home too, right? If you're really missing them, and this is for everybody, when you're really missing your loved one, stop, take some breaths and talk to them, right? Pay attention to what comes forward, whether it's a feeling, whether it's a memory, right? Because they'll speak through memories too. If you're doing something, all of a sudden this memory of this person comes through that is on the other side, you can stop and just, what I do is go, thank you. I know you're here. I love you very much. So I will acknowledge them, right? Just knowing that they're talking to us. Okay. So again, very welcome, my dear. So there's Amy. Amy, my dear, would you like to ask a question or have a connection? You were the next ones that my guides directed me to. And I know some of you guys are again, you're posting out there about hearing from people. I will probably just bypass because I try and, I can get a lot of comments and things coming up. And as I said, the guides run the show. If you haven't been in on my call before, basically I set the intention stepping in that the guides direct me to the names. As I see names come up, they'll direct me and I'll add them to my list, right? And I mean, I'd love to be able to read for everyone. We've probably got about 50 people in the room right now. Obviously, it's not possible for me to do that. But I just set the intention that those that need the messages the most step forward and then I'm able to provide that for them, okay? And bear with me here. I'm trying to find, I know I just saw your message, Amy. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah. So yeah, if you're not able to get a message, like I said, this is what I do full time. Christmas is coming. Ask your loved one for a gift certificate or drop out and come and see me. Be more than happy to read for you. And it doesn't have to be in person. I do a lot of Zoom session as well. So Amy, I see you asking that you want to connect with a boyfriend, Alex. It's on the other side. Sorry. I didn't mean to laugh like that. As soon as I started keying into the energy or his energy, I got a rolling of the eyes. So I'm like, oh, another one who wouldn't have believed in this stuff. But it almost makes me feel like kind of a cocky type of personality too. So not cocky, like, nasty or I'm not going to listen to you, but it's like, I'm all that in a bag of chips. So, he was very confident in himself. Right? Okay. He feels like he departed fairly quickly. I get what I call a quick go. right? So that sometimes can represent an accident. It can represent a suicide. It can represent an illness that's very quickly. But when they show me the quick go, it's usually something that is a much more abrupt. Okay. Bear with me, guys. I see you guys posting questions, and I'm trying to get by it. Hey, Bonnie. Okay, coming back here to Amy. I found your post. So yeah, another overdose, huh? Yeah, I just get such a quick go for him. They show me someone with a backpack, and that always represents someone who kind of marches to their own drum. They do what they want to do when they want to do it. So it can represent someone who's very kind of carefree, but I also get a sense of stubbornness with him, right? Because I get this thing like, I got it covered, right? I'm okay. So, you know, if there is, again, addiction issues going on there, it almost makes me feel like other people were trying to step in the system a little bit, but he was not able to hear that, because I get the sense that he felt he was okay. Right? He didn't have a problem. Right? So nothing that it was intentional or things like that. I think it makes me feel like just things getting carried away a little bit. Indra, you betcha, my dear. You take care, sweetheart. Thanks for popping in. I forget exactly where you are over there, but it's so nice that you took the time to come and visit. So yes, always stubborn. Yeah, I get a real sense of stubbornness for sure with him. Not that he thought he was always right, but it makes me feel if someone was trying to offer him advice or trying to assist him, it's like he kind of pushed away, like, I know what I'm doing. Does that make sense a little bit? I'm trying to think of how I can put this. Not that it kind of blew you off, but did you guys have words of discussion before? Because it's almost like, you know, she wanted me to do this or wanted me there, but I was going to go over here and do this. Okay. Yeah, it does. Because it just makes me feel that he wishes that he didn't leave the way it's like, I wish I didn't leave things the way I left it. Right? So it just makes me feel like there's some personal stuff going on between the two of you prior to him leaving. And he kind of has a bit of regret over that he wishes he hadn't left it the way he did. Because I think, again, sometimes if he wanted to do it, it's like, doesn't matter. Right? And this isn't judgment in any way, shape, or form. But I just get the sense he wishes that he listened a little bit more. Right? Amy, was there something specific you were looking for from him? Okay. So is the time of passing somewhere's around this time? It doesn't feel like it's quite there. Would it be more into the new year? I don't know if that's making sense, because for some reason it makes me feel like there's some sort of an anniversary coming up. So it can be, you know, say an anniversary of death. It can be an anniversary of a couple. It can represent a birthday. He's showing me that there's some sort of important time frame, and it doesn't feel like it's quite there yet, or like we haven't passed it, right? So I see that you're saying June 2nd. I presume that's his date of passing. I don't know, for some reason it's like bringing up January, February time frame for something, some sort of milestone. Okay. So Amy, I see you saying that you didn't say goodbye when he passed away, or say that you loved him, you know, and as I said, Amy, it made me feel like there was a confrontation or an argument or discussion or something. We just weren't on the right page at that time. And, you know, the old saying about hindsight being 2020, right? The things we wish that we would have done or said or whatever. And then we don't always do that. Okay. And as I'm saying this, you know, it makes me feel like you almost feel guilty about that, because he just said to me, he goes, tell her it's okay. Right? He wants you to know that it's okay and he's okay. Right? Is this helping a little bit, Amy? I mean, obviously, when I do the group like this and lives, I try and give a little bit here, and I don't go into all specifics because some things are private, right? Certain things I won't bring out in a big group format because it is private. right? We know he was a kind of private person anyway. But he just keeps saying, like, it's okay, is what I keep hearing, okay? Yeah. It's interesting because what he's saying to me too is it's almost like at times that he feels that he didn't deserve you. So it makes me feel like, you know, you can be a fairly patient person at times, but you didn't have a problem holding him accountable when he needed to do that either. And he says that's one of the things I liked about her is, you know, you didn't just roll over and be a pushover. Right? Sometimes that causes conflict, but yeah. Yeah, Denise, it's nice to see some newbies around, isn't it? Hello, hello, hello to anyone I may not have greeted yet. And my apologies if things are a little slow sometimes. I do my best. So hopefully that's helped a little bit, Amy. Okay. And what I heard too, it is interesting because it makes me feel that sometimes, again, he wasn't always the best at expressing his emotions. Okay. Because what I just heard was, I want to tell her that I love her. He says, I never said it enough. So I think he was more someone about actions than verbally saying things, if that makes sense. That help a little bit? Hopefully. Yeah, I get the sense you were there for him quite frequently. I'm just adding names that the guides are directing me to. Maybe I'll take a halt here too, just to maybe help so my throat doesn't wind up going out. Which happens sometimes right now too. So hopefully that has helped, Amy. Let me see. BL, you know what? Yes, I'm feeling very festive. I got my Merry Christmas. Let's get it this way. Back here. There we go. Right there. And I put up my tree today, so I found my Santa hat. And I thought, you know what? I am going to be festive and celebrating and put on my hat. And I see I have another little troll. So let me see if I can get rid of that one too. There we go. And bye-bye. Block. It's very handy when you're running on your computer to have your phone so you can like... It drives me crazy when people do that. Okay. So, and again, my apologies if I'm not saying it, pronouncing it correctly. Piriat Landry. I know you were here earlier, and I know you were asking some questions, and I had actually already had you on my list. I was just waiting. Amy, you're very, very welcome. So yeah, he sent a love through the lines to you, my dear. Deborah, Merry Christmas to you too. All right, and I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And again, my apologies if I'm not, because you know I'm not always the best at names. So let me know who it is. You know, if you are looking for a connection from somebody, or if you have a question about something going on. Because again, with what I do, it's not just mediumship, right? I do both. Basically, I put myself through meditation into an altered state. And I invite my guides in to provide information. If I step back more, they'll talk through me more. But a lot of people aren't used to that. And I find a lot of my messages from spirit is usually about people wanting to connect with their loved ones. So that's usually what it becomes at that point too. Okay, let's see. Okay, give me a second here. So I see that you're looking for your son. Wyomia? Again, not sure if I'm pronouncing it properly. I am in Canada. I am in a little place out, Canal is the name of it. I'm not far from St. John, New Brunswick, right? But I read for clients all over the world. That's a nice thing about Zoom and phone and all this beautiful technology. Especially since COVID, I do a lot of Zoom sessions. And yep, I'm just outside of St. George. That's right, Candy. Candy knows where I am. She's been here before. Okay, give me a second. Don't mind me, I'm going to set my candy to the side. And I'm not just setting it on my desk. Give me a second here. Brad, was your son very old before he passed? He doesn't feel like he was very old. And it makes me feel like there was multiple things going on with him as well. He could be a little bit of a joker too, huh? Because he's like making faces at me. Right. And so to me, it represents someone who's kind of a little goofy. Not like mischievous, bad, goofy, but I think he could be very playful. Right. Okay. He left. Yeah. See, I feel like there was illness and multiple things going on, but I also get a very quick departure. So was he started to kind of come around and then did a downturn? And I'm kind of just sighing here because what he just said to me, he goes, Mom still struggles with me not being here. So to me, that represents that you haven't quite healed from the loss. And not that we ever kind of forget anyone on the other side, but he shows me that you still struggle. Drown. Okay. So there must have been something else going on with him as well. So when I talk about illness, it can come from a mental place as well. And I'm not saying he had mental issues. That's not what I mean. But what I mean by that, sometimes when we hold on to emotions, it can come forward as illness as well, right? But I do get, like I said, a quick go with him, right? And then, as I said, he's showing me that you still struggle with him not being here. And I'm not sure how long he's been passed. I mean, I don't really feel like it's been too long. But he keeps saying that. Is that making some sense? Okay. And I just get the sense, like what he's telling me, he goes, just tell Mama I'm okay. And then to be very honest, what I heard was, tell her I didn't suffer. So it's almost like fear or worry around the way that he passed as well. Okay, so 3 months. Yeah, I didn't feel like it'd been very long, because what he was showing me is like kind of still going in his room and like here's his top and smelling his top and like still having all these things and it's still being so fresh and like a sense of almost feeling like he's just going to walk in that door, right? Because he's telling me too, he goes, tell her I don't want her to be sad. And I know, especially when we come up to the Christmas season, it definitely makes it a lot harder, especially when we've lost a loved one within the year or, the prior year. He's sending so much love to you, right? And he really wants you to know that he is okay. Oh, okay. So did you just come across my feed tonight too? And the reason why I'm asking that is because he's kind of going that he helped you find this tonight. Right. So it represents the fact that he really wanted to talk to you tonight. So usually means it's not something you kind of plan on doing. You might have been just going through your scroll and all of a sudden it came up and you thought you check it out. But he keeps repeating to me, Mom needs to know I'm okay. She needs to know that I'm okay. Right. At the end of the day, he needs you to be okay. He wants you to be okay. Right. Does he have a brother as well? I think my comments have kind of slowed down a little bit here. I see the little hearts coming out. Okay. So my dear, I don't know if you're crying or not, but he's showing me like a tear rolling down your face, and then he's showing me him wiping it away. Okay. So now I forget what the no is about. I see you saying no, but I don't know. I don't know what I said. So only child. Okay. Would you have had a friend that was like a brother? Because he seems to be concerned around another male. And that's why I asked about a brother from the first point. So it could, like I said, be very much a friend who is like a brother to him as well. He's showing me concern around them. Okay, so it could very well, but they are struggling with his passing still too, and just needs a little bit of assistance through it. So I think that they're kind of withdrawal, but he seems to be concerned about them a little bit too. Okay, and it's easy to say, that he doesn't want you to be sad, but you need to honor yourself and your feelings, and you need to move through what you need to move through in your time, right? But he does want you to know that he is around, right? And he's telling me, he says, I'm not far at all. He says, because mom needs me right now. Is this helping a little bit? And we have troll number 3 tonight. It's always nice to see how some people just don't have anything better to do. Let me see. There goes another one. Luck. Bye-bye. Crazy. Shouldn't have to do that. So is this helping a little bit? I hope it is. I kind of get the feeling this isn't something you would normally do. And you know what? If at a later time, you want to reach out and have a connection with them again, just reach out. Be more than happy to set up a session, okay? Because I just feel like some of this is still so fresh for you. But at the end of the day, he wanted you to know that he's okay and that he's around you lots and that he loves you. Okay. Yeah, Denise and them. That's why I keep my phone. I try, part of me is like, you shouldn't do it because I need to stay focused here to stay in the zone that I need to stay in, because it's very easy to pull myself out of kind of my trance state in order to do that. But sometimes I just find it very, very annoying, and I just, yeah, it drives me crazy. So I hope that's helped a little bit, my dear. Is it Gogan? Hopefully I'm saying it right. Sherry, let me know if you're still here, my dear. Hello, Valerie. Yeah, he knows how much you love him. That has not changed and will not change. And you are very, very welcome. Very welcome. I just feel like there was more there, but again, it's not for public. So I don't know if there were circumstances around his passing or not, but it makes me feel like there's other questions there. So again, but not group material. Sherry. Yeah, let me know who you would like to connect with, or if you would like to ask a question, my dear. We've got probably about 55 in the room. Welcome to anyone that I may not have said hello to. Sherry, if you want to ask who you want to connect with, and I mentioned this early at the start, because then I can key into who it is, I can move quick, and then I can try and get more connections for those that are here tonight, right? Rather than just then who's there, right? Because then it takes me a minute to try and figure it. This way I can just go straight to the source and then go from there, okay? So your dad or his sister, it's probably dad that'll come through. Give me just a second here. So yeah, just welcoming everyone. As I see names come up, I have a little pen and paper. I make notes of them. The guides direct me to certain names, and I do my best to make a connection, or you can ask a question too, okay? Again, if I'm not able to connect with you tonight, you know what? My website's along the top, paulahunter.ca. I would be more than happy to set up a private session with you. And again, like I said, Christmas is coming. I sell gift certificates through my website as well for whatever amounts you want, so that you can, put it towards a session if you want. It's a great gift, right? I usually sell quite a few over Christmas time, and they're good for a year. So then the person who receives it can, redeem it whenever they want to. Okay. So give me a second here. Dad has a sense of humor too. Dad seems very social. So almost like, the old saying about sitting down, shooting the shit. And I don't feel like beer or not, but he makes me feel like sitting there having a beer, having a discussion. He makes me feel more like an outdoorsy type of person too. Right. I see your comment about Dad being passed for a very long time. Do you remember him still okay? Just because sometimes if you're giving information and we don't have the memories to validate it, sometimes it makes it tougher. Candy, you trying to set up another group? And that's another thing I do too, guys. I set up, I do group sessions too, like for private groups, minimum of 6, maximum of 10. Everyone gets a message, and we can do it if you're in the area. You can, usually I travel to their spaces, and yeah, it usually becomes a girls' night or a family night, where they have like food and beverages and you just kind of hang out. But I've done it online too via Zoom. Actually, I think I've done it for you, Candy, when different people in different areas, everyone comes together through Zoom. We do the same thing. So yeah, coming back to Sherry here. Thank you, BL. I appreciate that. Yeah, I see your comment about being a social bunny. Yeah, he seems very, very social. Right? Just really fun-loving. Flew by the seat of his pants. Okay. Did he have issues with his heart? Candy, I'm advertising. Thanks, doll. I appreciate that. And Stephanie, maybe next year, I keep saying this, I have to get it through COVID and everything, but I'm hoping in the next year, so to get back out to BC, visit my sister and do some sessions out there and connect with people. So, if I get back there, I'll be looking you up too. Wow, big family. So I don't know if you saw the post about whether he had any issues with his heart or not. I see you saying that he had a big family. Yeah, I just get this real fun-loving, very down to earth, didn't put on airs for anybody, but it makes me feel like he left very abruptly as well. Right? Okanagan, please come. You know it, girl. Yeah, I'm trying to remember where my sister lives. Oh, my sister lives in Falkland, which is in the Okanagan, right? So it's not that far from Kelowna or any of those areas. So if I head out that way, that's where I'm going to be. But that's a hop, skip, and a jump to Vernon or Kelowna or Salmon Arms. So, yeah. Danny Marr. Candy's the best at setting these up. We have more than 6 for sure. Yeah. She is really good at doing that. So, Sherry, when you're asking the comment, is he okay? I mean, one thing I will say is, the guides always, always, always refer to death as returning home. That's always been the term that they use with me. And what they said to me is, how can it be anything but blissful when you return home? Right? So it really helped me have a different concept of death. I always say, I'm not too thrilled about the dying concept, but death itself does not scare me because I know without a shadow of a doubt there is something else, and it is love on that other side, right? We come here to learn our lessons. Okay. So I see your comment now about having a massive heart attack. Yeah, I was getting a real strong heart connection, and it was almost like walking across the floor and then down. So it made me feel like it was very abruptly, from that perspective. Your dad's funny. Because he's making comments about if he's going to go, he's going to go out in style, right? So he's making these jokes about it. And I think it's to make it light. That was his personality, but he also would not have been the person where, basically where he's alive for another, 6 months or so, bedridden, needing other people to take care of him. He, as much as he had the sense of humor, he was very proud. So for him to lay in a bed and have other people take care of him, this would not have been his thing, right? So he's making these jokes about leaving in style, like, like here's the big production, he just got such a sense of humor. He'd be so much fun to be around. Is that helping a little bit? Making my way down my list here. I got behind again. He did. One day here, gone the next. Yeah. And that was kind of the gist is what he's showing me, right? Is that just sense of being very abrupt, but he was okay with that because then it wasn't a burden to anybody else. Okay. Even though, we obviously wish that they could be here and, we would have had more time, but yeah, your sister had a huge heart attack about 4 months ago and that you're worried about them. So you're worried about your sister, you mean? Oh, your father looks like Santa Claus? I just get the sense of humor. He's just definitely would be kind of the life of the party. Very, very loving too, right? Yeah. So welcome to anyone that I may not have said hello to. Well, it's good you have his humor then, Sherry. Because that's important. That's what sees us through the tough times sometimes is having the humor. Right? So I hope that's helped a little bit, my dear. I'm glad he was able to come through. I mean, he came through really, really quick. And again, this would not have been his cup of tea. He would have been there just making jokes about it. Right? That's kind of what the feeling that I get from him. So yeah, for those of you that may have just popped on a little bit ago, this is what I do for a living, but I go live once a month, and the guides direct me to names. Okay, I set the intention coming in, saying, you know what, those that need the messages the most, please, ensure that I see them very quickly. And that's what they do. They kind of signal me into them. But again, if I'm not able to make a connection for you today, you know what, this is what I do. You can, follow my page, drop me a message, check out my website, paulahunter.ca. I actually do all sorts of things. The readings are only one side of it. And reach out. Be more than happy to set you up with a session, right? All my pricing's on my page as well. Or you can reach out and be more than happy to give you any information. And it doesn't have to be in person, right? I do a lot of Zoom sessions nowadays because for me, there is no difference. I'm not reading your energy. I'm listening. I make jokes. I listen to the voices in my head, basically coming from the guides. They're the ones that give me the information or spirit. They help me to key into wherever it is I need to go. Let me know if Becca Button's still in here or not. Becca Button. That's kind of a real cool name. So yes, let me know. So yeah. So I hope that helped a little bit, Sherry. Like I said. Yeah, it's sometimes hard to, I see everyone popping on, and you know what? I'd love to give a message to everyone, but I'd be sitting here for the next 8 hours trying to do so. And obviously that is not feasible. So this is, when I go live, this is my way of giving back, right? This is my way of showing you guys how much I appreciate you too, right? Because if it wasn't for you guys supporting me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't get to do what I love to do. Well, there's my sissy. Everyone say hello to Michelle Nightingale. That's my older sister. I was just telling people I might come out and visit you next year, sis. I'm getting a hooray. Come to the Okanagan. Which wouldn't be a problem. So yeah, I'm just waiting to see Becca Button or Bernice. I'm not sure if it was Rodriguez or not. All I could see was RODIG. So let me know, Bernice, if you're still here too. See, Michelle, everyone's gonna throw you love now. I actually started doing this work actually through my sister. My sister opened her metaphysical spiritual store in a little place called Enderby, BC. And geez, it would have been what? 2000s anyway, mid 2000s. And I used to live in Calgary and she was in the Okanagan, and we kind of started talking one time. I was like, hey, I opened a store. Oh, hey, I'm doing psychic work. And so I used to go up there on long weekends and stuff and actually read out of her store. So we ended up kind of working together. My sister's very sensitive as well. I think it runs in the family in some ways. I'm the only one who's really, truly like stepping into it to do it. This is what I love to do. But yeah, my sister's very sensitive too. There you are, Bernice. And all I see is RODRI. So I wasn't sure what your last name was. I was taking a hope and that it was Rodriguez, but I'm not sure. So Bernice, is there someone you would like to connect with, or if you have a question about something else as well, you are more than welcome to ask. 2001. Yeah. I thought it was like the early 2000s. I wasn't sure of the exact time frame. So yeah, I worked with my sister, and I wound up actually moving from Alberta to BC to actually work from her place. So that was kind of my start from more of a professional psychic perspective. Like I was doing it on the side, but that was more when I really stepped into it to doing the work. So, you know, I owe a lot to my sister too, that helped me step into this path. Right. Very much so. And Stephanie, I used to work with Stephanie. We used to hang out. I used to do a group out in BC, like not intuitive group, but a development group, I guess you can say, where we used to come together. And we used to do meditations, and I used to do channeling, just channeling from the guide. So not like this, asking questions, but just going into trance, letting them talk, letting them bring the messages through on a higher level that they wanted to bring through. And yes, Michelle, we were definitely a good team. Okay. So Bernice, I see that you said you want to connect with your uncle. I presume there's only one uncle on the other side, immediate uncle. It's funny because as I say that, what I hear is uncle / brother. And to me, what that represents is a really open relationship, right? Oh, I don't know how that came up there. Let's come back here. There we go. Yeah, it was, I get this sense of, again, here's this fun personality, very playful. Were you guys more closer in ages? Because I get this, like, getting in trouble together, and, you know, so he could be mischievous and kind of messing around, and then you're getting scolded from someone else. It could represent that too. But I get this real, you know, mischievous, fun-loving personality. But then it's like, I didn't do it. Right? So very, very fun as far as that goes. Is that making a little bit of sense, Bernice? Yeah, one of these days I'll hopefully I'd like to try and make it out to BC next year. Put away my pennies so I can go and visit. I just wasn't thrilled the way the flights were and everything slowing down, and oh, I'm on this flight, but all of a sudden you're waiting another day, and yeah, I wasn't ready for that. So I thought, oh, I'll buy my time right now. So I think my system slowed down a little bit. I'm just waiting for the comments to catch up and click into my program here. I'm just waiting for a response from Bernice. Okay. Hopefully it's going to kick off here. My last message was at 8:57, so I'm waiting. It's been 2 minutes, so I'm waiting for things to catch in a little bit here before I move forward. That way I know I don't have to go back and repeat things. Hopefully. Hopefully I'm still getting you guys. Right now I'm getting new messages coming forward. Oh, here we go. I think it just went. I think I got forward a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's for some reason acting really weird tonight. And I think sometimes this little program that I use doesn't always pull all of the comments in either, but I really prefer it over Facebook. It's pretty. Yeah, I like it better. So, Bernice, did you get any of those, anything I said there? I just want to check before I move any further. Have a good night, Bonnie. Thanks for coming. Yeah, I saw Bernice talk about her uncle. I did say a few different things. I'm just not sure whether she received that information or not. So again, I'm just waiting. That's where Zoom is a little bit better sometimes, you know, things like that, because I can actually interact more and you can get those connections. But yeah, so no, it froze. And that's what I was wondering. I kind of had the feeling that it had done that too. Bernice. So what I was saying, it almost made me feel like an uncle-brother connection. So it makes me feel like being very playful, almost like him trying to get you into trouble. It's like, I never did anything. So, a really fun-loving, joking type of personality is what I was getting with him. So let me know whether you can hear me now if you're getting the information, just so I can make sure. Again, it makes me feel illness with him a little bit too. It makes me feel like he wasn't coherent prior to passing either, because it makes me feel like him being out, not being able to communicate prior to his passing as well. Does that make some sense a little bit, Bernice? Hoping it does. There's a bit of wind and weather tonight, so it may cause my system to act up a little bit here too. Looks like everything's hanging again. Hopefully not too long. You guys still hearing me? Yeah. Is it still doing it? Or am I kind of back a little bit better now? Or is it still acting up? See, the guides know, because normally I run for about an hour and I'm just into the 9 o'clock. And as soon as I hit that part, it's almost like everything is, they're like, you're done. Yeah, so Bernice, I get the sense, yes, he was always, I lost that one. It jumped. Give me a sec. He was always laughing and cracking jokes. He had a sudden heart attack. Yeah. Because he shows me like not being able to communicate. So I don't know if he lived a little bit after that time frame of the heart attack or what. It's almost like trying to, wanting to communicate, trying to communicate, but not being able to do so. But like I said, I get the quick go with him as well. He would have been really funny though. He'd be the type that if you were, say, walking in a mall or something, he'd be coming up and grabbing your pants and hauling down on you. Like that's his humor. He wouldn't think twice about it. And he just like turn away, walk away, whistling, laughing, and acting as though I didn't do anything. So definitely a real sense of humor. Yeah, thanks, guys. As I said, the wind's kicking up, and my husband's on watching TV too, so he's streaming a little bit too. Nice to see you too, Valerie. Have a beautiful evening. Nice to hear what you had to say for those you connected with. I appreciate that, Valerie. Again, I love doing this. I love making these connections, right? This is, truly is my passion, and I really feel blessed to be able to do what I love to do. And to me, that's helping and healing people. It isn't just information. This is healing, right? At the end of the day. So yeah, it looks like my system is acting up. It seems to keep doing the same thing. So I guess on that note, that means that it's time for my departure as well. This is the last one for 2022. I will be back in the new year. I just want to take a minute and wish everyone, a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, solstice, whatever belief system you have. And I just want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for being here this year. This year's still been a year of challenge for a lot of individuals, a lot of changes for people. And, we're all in it together. So never forget that. I got new things coming for the new year. I'm working on my intuitive development program, which I'm calling Intuitive Mastery, which I'm putting together. And I'm also going to be working with another psychic medium that I've connected with through my schooling that I've been doing out of Ontario. And we are going to be doing a podcast starting next year as well called I Am Divine. And it's going to be about intuitive aspects, getting into universal laws, creative process, trauma. It's going to bring in a lot of stuff. Basically, the I Am Divine is reminding us that we are divine. The essence of who we are is spirit, which is perfection. right? So yeah, I got some beautiful new things on the go for next year. Going to plan some coaching membership type stuff too. I'm coaching now. You can reach out if you have any questions about that. But I'm really excited about the intuitive program that I'm going to be doing and the podcast. This is brand new for me. So we're going to see where that's going to go. So much love to you guys. Remember, stop, take a breath, send the love. That's the best thing that we can do. Don't feed into the crap that you see outside of yourself right now, because that's all it is. Stay balanced, right? Much love coming through from your loved ones on the other side, right? Always remember that they are with you. Stephanie, once I have more information as far as the podcast, I will let you know. We've created a Facebook page, which is not open yet, but it'll be called I Am Divine as well. So I will post it through my Facebook business group, and she'll put it through hers as well. And then we have the I Am Divine Facebook group that we're starting, and we will have all the connections through there as far as where you can find it. And it should, we're using a program that should put it up on, Amazon and Spotify and all those fun places too. So we're pretty excited. Again, we're newbies, so we got to figure it all out yet. But yeah, it's going to be there for next year. So much love to you guys. We are so excited. And just thanks for being here. Remember, support each other, love each other, because that's all we have at the end of the day. Okay? Have yourself a Merry Christmas, and you can find me on my page. Otherwise, I will see you in the new year as well on my messages from Spirit. Have a good night.